Not even the fall gaming season is safe from the drama that the video game industry keeps making for itself through either general ineptitude or outright malice towards the people out there buying their games and keeping them in business. You thought casinos were bad? Well, sit down, buddy, because the gaming industry is giving them a run for their money. Literally.
Here we go!
Cuck.
Peggy 18.
If we told you that big gaming companies were utilizing new and evolving technology that would entice you, the normie gamer, to keep feeding money into the game in order to maintain what is perceived as a level playing field against your opponents or even alongside your other teammates, you might say, well, that sounds like a pretty shitty thing for a company to do. And you would be right. But so would we.
Yeah.
Because thanks to the approval of a submitted patent this week, we all got an inside look at the ways that gaming companies are out to squeeze every last penny out of everyone's wallet teeth.
Now, this goes far beyond the slot machine style endorphin rush utilized by numerous games with the advent and rise of loot box openings where the user throws some money in for a chance to win a rare cosmetic item for any of these games. The patent, filed by Activision, which was recently approved, actually seems a lot more diabolical than that simple legal gambling for kids thing, because if they implement what is shown in these documents, it would mean that they are utilizing systems which would potentially make you feel worse at the game, make you jealous of your teammates and people you're playing against, give a potential advantage to the other team, and trigger a negative emotional effect of not keeping up with the Joneses in general during your time spent in-game. And yeah, that's fucked up.
So let's get right into what this patent is about and what it would be used for within Activision's games. But we should preface it with the fact that this was just recently approved, so none of Activision's current lineup, including the recently released Destiny 2, have this integrated into them.
So that's good.
Yet. The patent was filed 2 years ago, and right up front, you'll see the information regarding what this patent is for. A system and method is provided that drives microtransactions in multiplayer video games. The system may include a microtransaction arrange matches to influence game-related purchases. For instance, the system may match a more expert marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed/used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by obtaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player.
And that's just the summary. When you look into it further, there's a flowchart that shows how it could be implemented to reward the user for following through with a purchase that was triggered by this algorithm. It plays out as follows. Identify item that may be relevant to a first player. Identify a second player that possesses that item. Tune match variables and/or coefficients to match first and second players. Match first and second players. Then, now in practice, the player it's targeting would either purchase the item or not. The algorithm kicks in again. If the player did not purchase the item, the algorithm, quote, updates player's profile to indicate non-purchase. But if the item was purchased thanks to this setup, then it would place that player, quote, in a gameplay session for which the item is effective.
It's diabolical.
Yeah.
Also, I like the term marquee player. I'm gonna start using that more.
He's a marquee player.
And he's so good, he's a marquee player.
Yes.
But anyway, holy fucking shit, guys!
Yeah.
So, essentially, if Activision's tactics work on you, they are basically going to reward you with a session where it feels like you're kicking ass with your new item and looking great doing it, which would then entice other players in that new session to do the same goddamn thing that you did. It amounts to a gigantic money-filled snowball effect.
Yeah.
Where you're fueled by jealousy.
The best fuel. It's
But-
better than rocket fuel.
Yeah. And if you don't conform to their code, you get a secret little ding on your account.
Whoops.
Which, well, who knows what happens after that? Does it continue to engage this tactic and possibly intensify it, or add more frequency, or does it act like a schoolyard bully and stop holding you upside down and shaking you because it realizes there's no more lunch money in those pockets?
Well,
we don't know.
We should stop targeting this man. He's poor. Now, this patent itself, it does seem to have a lot of decent implementations in it regarding matchmaking, in addition to the garbage. It has features like putting you in matches based on your skill level and progression.
Only marquee players in this match.
Yeah, it also outlines features where it can adjust if you're having a bad time, or if you're losing a bunch, or if you're paired with people that are outside your skill level, stuff like that, which is fine. It all seems like decent evolution in multiplayer matchmaking for games like these, because it sucks when matchmaking puts you up against a group that is far outside your skill level, something that Destiny 2 has already become infamous for. 4 solo players versus an entire team that's already made up, Not really fair, is it, Bungie? Fuck you. But then, anyways, as the description for the patent continues, it dives deeper into the microtransaction shit, and it sounds pretty fucking predatory. Here's some quotes.
In one implementation, the system may include a microtransaction engine that arranges matches to influence game-related purchases. For instance, the microtransaction engine may match a more expert/marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed/used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by attaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player.
It's kind of almost like when you walk into, not that anyone's doing it anymore, but you walk into Hooters and you ask for a beer, and they're like,
oh yeah.
I mean, do you want it in the panty waist size, or do you want it in man size?
You want it man size, a little baby bitch
What are you,
size?
some kind of little bitch, little baby?
All right, here's one little baby bitch beer with a little
Here's one
bottle
shot
top
glass
on.
full of Budweiser. Enjoy it, you fucking pussy. Anyways, this document, it continues, quote, the microtransaction engine may analyze various items used by marquee players, and if the items are being promoted for sale, match the marquee player with another player, example, a junior player, that does not use or own the items. Similarly, the microtransaction engine may identify items to be promoted, identify marquee players that use those items, and match the marquee players with other players who do not use those items. In this manner, the microtransaction engine may leverage the matchmaking abilities described herein to influence purchase decisions for game-related purchases.
This is some social engineering.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on board for this.
Yeah, I like how evil it is.
I want to see the findings, though.
I want to see the man who wrote this report completely stone-faced and just going,
Yes.
yes, fuck these children. Yes, I will take all of their money.
They wouldn't let me do this experiment at Stanford because of ethics, but here at Activision, they said, go right ahead.
In fact, I was fired for trying to push this same thing at my previous
They
company.
took away my PhD. Well, who's getting the last laugh now? Stanford University.
Ooh.
So the next quote, it further details the flowchart that we mentioned earlier. It says, in one implementation, when a player makes a game-related purchase, the microtransaction engine may encourage future purchases by matching the player, e.g. using matchmaking described herein in a gameplay session that will utilize the game-related purchase. Doing so may enhance a level of enjoyment by the player for the game-related purchase, which may encourage future purchases. For example, if the player purchased a particular weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the particular weapon is highly effective, giving the player an impression that the particular weapon was a good purchase. This may encourage the player to make future purchases by achieving similar gameplay results.
It's a fucking serotonin shotgun to the face. I love it. I actually like, this is so
Good.
diabolical.
I'm not gonna play these fucking games anyway.
Yeah.
Do it. I love it.
Are you challenging these people?
Yeah. Activision, fucking do it.
Well, there's
Fuck these kids up.
yeah, fuck their wallets
Take them
up.
for every cent they have.
Yeah. To wrap this up, I guess not nicely, but nicely, it's because we have to move on. Here's a too long, get to the point summary of what this whole thing appears to be. It appears to be a pay-to-win format where not only can you potentially improve your skills by purchasing in-game items, but it also looks like you'll be rewarded for making purchases by having the game match you with players who suck and haven't spent any money, allowing you to shit all over them in order to make you feel good and buy more stuff, while at the same time making those other players feel like shit, which will then entice them to buy the shit that you have. Diabolical.
I fucking loved it. It's not ethical,
No, by
it's
no means is it
fucking
ethical.
awesome. This is awesome.
Well, you didn't come here for the actual analysis. You came here for...
Yeah. As someone who has never dropped a fucking cent on a microtransaction, doesn't affect me. You little shitheads, you go whine about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect me at all.
But listen, I'll say this part because you're apparently on board. How could this be more blatantly corrupt and evil? I don't know. But maybe this is what these companies need to do to stay alive, because the past few years have been brutal for studio closings, and just this week there was another one. This time from EA, which is the same company that just absorbed BioWare Montreal after they shit out that garbage Mass Effect game earlier this year. So the company that's closing this week, Visceral Games. It was most notably responsible for the space horror game series Dead Space, but it also farted out that Battlefield Hardline game a couple years ago.
Guess what's a dead space now? Visceral's office.
The old offices.
The Visceral had actually been working on a non-Battlefront Star Wars game that was slated to launch in 2019, and a lot of people are thinking that it was because of this title's apparent focus on single player, which doesn't really have a lot of room for replayability or showing off all the cool trinkets that you've purchased via microtransactions.
Yeah.
That's why. So it was pitched as an Uncharted-style action-adventure game, but with the closing of the studio, that too is most likely getting changed, tweaked a little bit. And the game's release date has been pushed back indefinitely.
Wait, hold
We
on.
need to figure out how to make this a multiplayer game.
Hold on.
With loot
Activision
boxes.
just did all the evil work for us by submitting this patent. We gotta put a hold on this game so we can figure out how to implement these microtransaction matchmaking things.
Put a few credits and spin the wheel to see if you get Darth Vader's lightsaber. Oh no!
Oh,
you
man.
got another
Look at you.
blaster.
Sad, you just got a porg.
You got Greedo's blaster.
Oh god. Anyways, regarding the news, EA Executive Vice President Patrick Soderlund said, a development team from across EA Worldwide Studios will take over development of this game, led by a team from EA Vancouver that has already been working on the project. Our Visceral Studios will be ramping down and closing, and we're in the midst of shifting as many of the team as possible to other projects and teams at EA. Huh! EA Worldwide Studios taking over development? Where have I heard that before? Oh, right, that's the exact same thing that happened to BioWare Montreal, meaning whatever was left became part of EA Worldwide Studios. It's so weird how that works.
It's a business. Hey, we're trying to turn a profit here.
That's what you all need to understand. It's
I'm running a business.
They're not making these games so you can have fun.
I mean, we give me $60. Nah, wait, actually,
Give me $60 up front.
$60
and then
up
let
front
it
for
trickle
the
in for a
opportunity.
while.
That gets you in the door.
Yeah.
But if you really want to have fun, guys, really want to have fun, you don't have to, but check this out. Check this shit out.
It's a man size.
Another $5.
Do you want that gun
Clothes.
bitch size or man size?
Yeah. Whew.
But anyway, let's round out this microtransaction-based and rage-inducing episode of T.U.G.S. by showing that people are starting to get so publicly fed up with this predatory bullshit that governments are stepping in and starting to ask some questions. We can mostly thank Overwatch for all this because the game is wildly popular for people of all ages, including children.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue against a game like Call of Duty because it's rated M for mature, PEGI 18, whatever the hell Asian countries call it. Overwatch, obviously very kid-friendly. Yes, it's rated T for teen, but that basically means like every kid is playing this shit. Even if it were just 13-year-olds, this would still be a problem.
Yeah,
Those
you
are
can,
children.
If it's a game that's supposed to be for people 18 and up, then you can be like, okay, well, gambling's legal for 18 and up. It'd be harder to make the argument.
Yeah, so yeah, they're on the one hand, yeah, if they were tricking adults into buying this shit, fine, whatever. We're all consenting adults.
You're
here.
guilty. You're the one that fucking fed into it.
Yeah.
Kids, on the other hand,
Yeah, everyone does that too. But getting kids involved, that's apparently a step over the line for some people
not for Elliot.
and some government.
Yeah. China kicked things off by adding regulations to all loot box style transactions, which forced game makers to reveal the odds of players receiving items when they purchase these crates or boxes or whatever, in an effort to dissuade people from throwing their money away for something that had a 0.001% chance of actually happening. And now, the UK is stepping up and responding to a petition which positions loot boxes as gambling, specifically as it relates to children. And Cambridge Labour MP Daniel Zeichner has officially submitted formal questions to the UK's Secretary of State for Digital, Media, Culture and Sport.
I'm sure when they signed up for that job back in the good old days, they didn't think they. All right, it's all cricket matches and footy.
The worst thing that could ever happen to me in this career would be finding out if a man eating a pie was illegal or not. Cracks fingers.
Sorry, buddy.
Relaxes.
It's all video games now. So, okay, the first question asks her what steps that she plans to take to help protect vulnerable adults and children from illegal gambling, in-game gambling, and loot boxes within computer games. And the second is what assessment the government has made of the effectiveness of the Isle of Man's enhanced protections against illegal and in-game gambling and loot boxes, and what discussions she has had with cabinet colleagues on adopting such protections in the UK. The Isle of Man, their protections were explained by a Redditor who's quoted in numerous articles. He said this: the Isle of Man is a British territory which explicitly defines in-game items as money's worth in its gambling law. It's currently the only place in the world that does so. Isle of Man's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, they host that deadly motorcycle race every year.
Yeah, it's like part of Britain, but they're also just like, you're up there. I mean, kind of just do whatever the fuck you want. That's cool.
Anyways, it all smells like a conspiracy to kill video games once and for all.
They did it.
Goddamn big government coming in to take away my son's gambling addiction. Don't tell me how to allow video games to raise my kids. But anyway, enough of the government and shitty patents. Let's get to the internet's #1 gaming conspiracy theorist in our office, because he's here to review another game that we can all assume has microtransactions. Alex Shibby Jones, the floor is yours.
All right, order in the court. T.U.G.S boys and T.U.G.S girls. This week I got my gritty paws on some yaoi foxy or hentai.
Okay, said Order in the Court as if it's some kind of fucking medieval thing.
It's not.
It's not.
Superheroes.
I mean this cartoon anime thing.
No, I mean Order in the Court is a pretty typical term that has no basis in any kind of...
Silence!
Okay, courtroom.
I put some hours into a game about eating an unhealthy amount of chicken wings at Raisins and a side of ass. A game where friendships are broken, fractured. They're hand puppets and Freedom Pals gang violence. The newest game in which you have anal powers and a scrotum on your chin. Of course, I'm talking about South Park's butthole game.
Fractured asshole. Whoa.
It's my scroll of adventures. I'm relevant. It's time for you ass eaters to follow me on Instagram and press spacebar to believe in yourself because Ubisoft has not. Oh, you want that lovely Steam platform that you love so much? Well, fuck you. No, not because you can't buy it on Steam, but because you literally can buy it on Steam and you'll need to go to the glorious Uplay platform to actually access the game.
Boy.
Next up, there's the Nuvo DRM, the anti-tampering software that these publishers are paying big money for protection. And guess what, viewer? That software on South Park was cracked within 24 hours. Yeah. Same with Shadow of War, which I'll be reviewing next week. Cracked within a day. How is the best in-class digital rights management software worth paying for that they actually have to pay for when it does not even protect for a full day? Look, I understand you want to protect your product because the initial window of sales is very important, but paying for this shit service which then puts a bunch of cancer software checks on my computer and it doesn't even work. We the gamers, we are getting fucked because these costs are then being passed down onto us in forms of single-player microtransactions and South Park's Day 1 DLC. Another one of the 7 sins, and Rice Gum didn't even commit this one. Disgusting. Want those sweet, sweet Relics of Zoran costumes and perks pack? That'll be $4.99 for some costumes and an alien anal probe. Whoa. This reused content from the first game, I need to pay extra on day 1 for it? Never. You want the full game? Fuck you, $90. Do I like South Park? I do, sure, but not $90 worth for a complete single-player experience, which doesn't even come with the Zoran Day 1 DLC. After reviewing Cuphead, which is a complete $20 game, in which Ricky loves,
I love it.
this sequel to Stick of Truth just feels shitty. Arguably, there are 3 layers of DRM if you buy on Steam, Uplay, then Denuvo. Enough is enough. Witcher 3 did not need DRM because that game was incredible. One of the best PC titles of all time, and this South Park game is just sad. Unlike my shirt, Fractured Butthole is not making gaming great again, it's making more cancer again. So, therefore, 0 out of 10. Buy some shippy shirts, link in the description. Adventure time.
They're turning the damn games gay.
Yeah, thanks Shibs for whatever that was. Now, to honor the memory of Visceral Games, let's check out a review for what would become, sadly, I don't think they assumed this, but the last game they ever produced, Battlefield Hardline.
Oof.
This review comes from Amazon user Second Options, who titled their review, "A game that aims your gun for you."
Why, oh why, does this game even exist? Shouldn't be petty criminals versus police. For a Battlefield game, this should be DEA and Mexican cartels. That's the only damn plausible case in which a Battlefield game can possibly have a stake in cops and robbers scenarios. Pros, I was able to sell this game back to some unfortunate soul. Cons, a tainting of the immensely fun, challenging, and deep game I used to know as the Battlefield franchise. RIP BFC, BFBC2. 2 guns only that dominates all overs M16A3 and M416. Look no further or you will give your opponents an unfair advantage. Way too casual. A game that has such strong aim assist that you only need to hold down the left trigger in the general direction of any movement on screen and hold down to fire and bingo, instant kill. You can literally shoot unseen running enemies through a bush cover. Aim assist is pretty much aim lock. Do yourself a favor and buy a game and tell EA to give you a game where you can shoot your own game without babysitting what's supposed to be a fun, rewarding game where the sky's the limit in skill into a garbage, casual game with little to not depth. Pretty much less than half of what Battlefield 4 offers for the same price. Don't waste your money. Ask for a game where you can earn your own kills without the game babysitting your aim so 7-year-olds and half-conscious monkeys can kill you for casual fun after dancing on your body.
That guy's real angry. And you know what? He has every right to be. He is a paying customer. You, the consumer, have every right to be angry. If you're angry at us, stop right now. But if you're not, go watch Chibi's review of Cuphead.
He's like, this game is terrible. I fucking hated it. I also tricked some poor asshole into buying it off of me.
Hey, it's a good game. He foisted it.
Fuck EA for selling me this game, but, you know.
Might be good for you.
Fuck the idiot for buying it off of me.
If you don't hate us, watch Chibi's review of Cuphead, and then we have another gameplay video you should watch here. See you next time. Bye.